Now we will understand the relationship between the holistic thinking and individual sets in terms of numbers, and then from here we will move on to multiplication and division. So I request you to go through the earlier videos on addition and subtraction prior to watching this. So here there are different thinkings. So on a whole, if you think a number as 0, the null set thinking goes on, nothing is inside, everything is outside. So the null set is connected with Venus, so nothing is within the boundary, nothing, everything is outside. So the limitation or the boundary, this is number 1, that which is outside the boundary, which is 4, and that which is within the boundary, which is 7. See here, boundary, beyond boundary 4, within the limit 7, 1, 4, 7. Now if you go to the universal thinking, everything is within the universe. It's like the sky or the heaven thinking, where everything is within the heaven. This is the earth thinking, everything is outside. So in the heaven thinking, we have a boundary which is the moon, number 2. Beyond the heavens, the intelligence, number 5. Within the heaven are the energy, which is number 8. So here the boundary is 2, beyond boundary is 5, and then within boundary is 8. Now what will happen if you combine the null set and universe set? So the null set thinking says that everything should be outside. Okay, so you have to let go the limitations to go beyond. So you can see the shape of the part upside down. So everything, you are interested in what is beyond the limitation. Okay, so this is 6. The boundary, which is the Ketu or the wise man who connects both the having and not having. This is Ketu, which is 3, Rahu, which is 6. Here you can see the part is upright. So within the universe, you can see the universal set is the karma or the Saturn, which is number 9 within. So you can see here there are 2 different boundaries. Here there is just one boundary. In this boundary, generally the earth thinking is outside, everything is outside. Universal thinking is everything is inside. So the same boundary is shared by both earth and heaven. Here you can see earth is inside, heaven is outside. It's like a donut. So the actual material content is in between. This is earth, this is heaven. Or this is the null set and this is the universe set. This is a different view. Here it's just a single boundary where if you try to connect these two as one, what is within goes without and what is without goes within. So universe goes inside, earth goes outside. So you can see there are 3 different within the limits thinking. One is Saturn, number 9. One is Mars, number 8. One is Venus, which is number 7. That is why when you write the set notation form, you go by this way: Venus, Saturn, Mars, and then surrounding Jupiter, Mercury. That's how you go. So the Venus is the system of the universe set. Venus is the Venus is the system of the null set. Mars is the system of the universe set. Saturn is the system of the collective set, where you try to combine both these things. The holistic set is 0. Similarly, boundary, there are 3 different boundaries. Number 1 is sun, 2 is moon, 3 is Ketu. So this is beyond the boundary, the surrounding 4 is Jupiter, 5 is Mercury, 6 is Rahu. So that is why if you see, if you take all the null set ideas, 7 plus 1, 8 plus 4, 12, plus 6 of Rahu, if you add, you get 18. Similarly, if you add all these ideas of universe set, 8 plus 2, 12, 12 plus 3, 15, plus K2 if you add, you get another 18. That's how it is. Similarly, if you add the collective set, 9 plus 3, 12, plus 6, 18, another 18. So that's why you call 18 as the level number. Now we will understand what it means to move from the holistic set towards one of these sets, the universe set, null set and collective set, and then back to the holistic set. This is what we call the steps from one whole to the next whole, either a division or a multiplication. Here, this is a ladder thinking. One you have the floor, which is the 0. Another ceiling, you have another 10 or the units which is 0. So moving from one hole to another hole, you have 9 steps in between. So these 9 steps, what we earlier saw, are the 9 perspectives. Okay, so numbers should not be seen as just some quantity. It should be seen as the way the mind thinks, or how we perceive, or how we connect the whole with different perspectives. So first we will go by the multiplication of number 1. How do you do multiplication of 1? 1 multiplied by 1 equal to 1. 1 multiplied by 2 equal to 2. What is the meaning is, if you keep in steps of 1, when I say 1, 1 is the symbol for the sun, or the boundary of the null set. If you keep on keeping your steps by focusing on the boundary of the null set, you go in this direction. Keep one step ahead, 2, 3, 1 into 3 is 3, where 3 is the number of steps that you keep from the floor. So the first step here, second step here, third step here, like that you keep on having steps. So you go up to 9, 1 into 9, 9, 1 into 3, 1 into 4, 1 into 5, 1 into 6, 1 into 7, 1 into 8, 1 into 9, 1 into 10. What will happen if you do from 9? 9 is actually the symbol of the number for Saturn. Or here you see as 1 whole, but in 9 you see it as the 9 Navamsas are the same thing. You see it as 9 different perspectives, or this is as a washer. In 9, the same is reverse. Instead of when 1 you multiply, when you go in this direction, in 9 you go in the reverse direction. You say 9 into 1 is 0, 9. 9 into 2 is 1 and 8. Here this is 1 becomes 9 here. 8, 27, 36, 45, 54. See, the units digit is keeping on decreasing. 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. Similarly, you can observe that the ones digit is actually connected with the ones digit of this one. When the ones digit in 1 keeps constant, the ones digits keep changing. See, this is all zeros here, but it's never constant. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And similarly, also you see that you can, if you add the units and ones digit, it is totaling to the 9, 45, 54, 63, 72, 7 plus 2, 9, 8 plus 1, 9. This is the relationship between number 1 and 9. Again, we are back to the pentagon thinking, where number 1 and number 9 is not only connected in addition. In addition, it's that way. Even in multiplication and division, it is the same. So, suppose if somebody says, what will be the relationship between 45 and then 9, how many steps you had to keep? All you need to do is add 1 to this tens digit. So how many steps you kept? 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth step. What is fifth step? Is actually similarly 10 minus 5 of the step. This is also 5. Somebody says what will be the how many steps you have to keep to go up to 72. 72 means you can say that 7 plus 1 8. You have to keep 8 steps to keep 72. 7 plus 1. So what I am trying to say is 72 is divided by 9 equal to 8, or 72 by 8 equal to 9. So if you have to keep 8 steps to go up to 7, what would be, how many steps you have to keep from, if you count from 1, which is 10 minus 8, which is the second step, 1 and 2. So the second step from unity is actually the 8th step from 9. So from 0, from this floor you keep 1, 2, you end up in 2. Similarly, if you keep 8 steps here from 9, you end up in 72. The unit digits for both these things are same, but the tens digit keeps on increasing. In 9, or if you go this way, it will be keeping on decreasing. Now we will understand the relationship between 3 and 7. See, the 3 and 7 are two different ways of seeing the washer and the trinity. See, if you do multiplication, you start from one ceiling, which is floor, which is 0, to ceiling, which is another 0. So between one 0 and another 0, there are 9 steps. So multiply by 3. If you multiply 3 and 1, what will happen? 3 into 1 is 3. 3 into 2 is 6. See, 3, 6. 3 into 3 is 9. Similarly, 3 into 4 is 12, 1, 2. 3 into 5 is 15. 3 into 6 is 18, 1, 8. And then 3 into 7s are 21, 8 is 24, 9 is 27, and then 10 is 30. So you can observe that we earlier explained that 3, 6, 9 is connected to the collective set. So you are moving from a boundary Ketu, Rahu beyond the limits, and then within the limits. So boundedness to within the limits, 3, 6, 9. Similarly 2, 5, 8, you see, 2 is the boundary, beyond the limits 5, Mercury, within the limit Mars, 8, 2, 5, 8. And also 1, 4, 7, 1 is the boundary, Sun, 4 is Jupiter, beyond the limits, 7 is Venus, within the limits. See, you can see that the human mind, either if it realizes the limitation, it first tries to go beyond the limits and then realizes that it has to move within the limits. So that's the way of the thinking, moving from in all these sets, whether it's collective set, universe set or null set, irrespective of the set. In 3, the movement is 3, 6, 9, 2, 5, 8. See, 3, 6, 9, 2, 5, 8, all the units digit is 1. And then 1, 4, 7, the null set, all the units digit is 2. Now if you go to 7, it will be the reverse. See, 3 and 7 are either sides of this pentagon. For 7, start from 7. 7 into 1s are 7, right? If you multiply for 7, it will be like 7 into 1 equal to 7. This is the first step. 7 into 2 equal to 14. The unit digit is 4. See, 7 into 3 equal to 21. See the unit. 7 into 4 equal to 28. See, so for 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, and then 70. See, we are going in this reverse direction. And again you can observe that the ones digit, when this is changing, this doesn't change. When that is changing, this doesn't change. See, for 3, 6, 9, the ones digit is all 0. But for 7, it keeps on changing, 0, 1, 2. But here, after the first 3 steps from the collective set, 369, there is a shift towards the universe set 258. So when this is changing, that doesn't change. See, 21 and 28 both are having the 2. And if you go the similarly towards the null set 258, 14, see all is having 2, 147. From universe set 258 you are moving to 147. At this stage there is a change in the 3, but see for 7 it doesn't change, 42 and then 49, both are on 4. So this is how you have to not just multiply something and memorize things, you have to see visually how different perspectives are connected to numbers. Now we will see the relationship between number 4 and 6. See, 4 and 6 are again on either side of this pentagon. So if you now multiply by 4, you will have 1 into 4 would be 4. See, first step unit digit is 4. 2 into 4 will be 8. Next step. 3 into 4 will be 12. The third step is 2. 4 into 4 would be 16. So 5 into 4 would be 20, like that. So 4, 8, 2, 6. See, as I said, we should start visualizing numbers as not merely numbers but different perspectives. You can think number 8 as the 8 corners of the cube, and 6 as the 6 faces of the cube. So 6 and 8 are connected to the cube, and 2 and 4 are connected to the different stages of the wave. So they are the even equivalent of, you can even think it as the even equivalent of the odd wave. See, 1, 3, 7, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8. They are, see, 1 add 1 becomes 2, 3 add 1 becomes 4, 7 add 1 becomes 8, 8 add 1, 5 add 1 becomes 6. So you can think in different ways, like as long as you are able to connect the numbers, you will be able to in your own imaginary way, still you should be able to logically get to the same conclusion. See, in 6 it's going in the reverse direction. 6 into 1s are 6, 6 into 2s are 12, 6 into 3s are 18, 6 into 4s are 24, 6 into 5s are 30. Again the same rule applies. When this is not changing, this will change. See, from here the unit one's digit is 0408, but here it is 0612. But when that is stable, this is changing. See, 12 and 18, 6 is stable, but this is changing. So when this changes, this doesn't change. When this is doesn't change, this changes. That's how the ones digit will flip. So, but if you can logically relate, and you can see that then our flow is along the pentagon. See, 0, 4, 8, 2, 6, 0. That's how it's flowing. So you can imagine that the 6 and 4 is as a pentagonal flow, and 2 and 8 as the cyclic flow. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. So 8 and 6 as the 8 and 2 as the cyclic flow, and 6 and 4 as the pentagonal flow. For phi, it's a very straightforward thing. It's nothing much to discuss. Eventually it's connected to the pentagon. You can see that it's flipping between 0, 5, 10, 1, 0, 15, 1, 5, and then 22, 0, 25, 2, 5, 30, 3, 0, 35, 3, 5. Say 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0. It's oscillating between the wholeness and the division. So you can see that between one hole and another hole, there is a constant oscillation between the 0, the hole. You can see the hole as 0. Here, instead of seeing this circle, you can see the circle itself as a 0, and instead of 5, you can see it as the pentagon. So you can, it's like saying, earlier I was a circle, then I was a pentagon, then I was a circle, then I was a pentagon, then I was a circle, then I was a pentagon. That way you can see that there's an oscillation between 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, like that it's going. That's the relationship for the phi. So hope you can use these techniques for division and multiplication. So never actually always think about multiplication alone and then division alone. See, eventually division is nothing but finding the on what step you are, and multiplication is about what value you are. So if somebody says 25, the 25 is the actual value, but it means you have kept 5 steps by with respect to the first step 5, which is called the number for the mercury. So do division and multiplication together. So always don't always learn multiplication first and then division next. Instead, see that multiplication and division are actually connected to the actual step, which is the perspective. So multiplication or division and the perspective, and together with the whole, if you try to connect and then learn, it will be more fun rather than memorizing things. So visual addition, visual subtraction, visual multiplication and visual division are good ways of seeing this whole world as a mathematical model rather than thinking mathematics as something alien to the real world. Thank you.